Going back to metals, Nick is very insistent on a certain organization called MELD, which is launching a stablecoin, so into the cryptocurrency space, launching a stablecoin backed by gold, fractionalizing it and selling it as a coin using Cardano blockchain. What do you metals guys make of this? Now, it is very interesting seeing attempts that have been made to get precious metals onto the blockchain. There are many different projects that have tried this over the years. Recently, I was interested to find that the Australians had managed to use their gold certificate program to create a tradable form of gold that's on, I believe it's managed on the Ethereum blockchain, though I could be wrong. John, what do you make of that? Do you think any of the stablecoin projects that attempt to do this to get gold-backed crypto are going to be a success?
Well, I think in principle, the technology is wonderful. I mean, why not? Why not take full advantage of blockchain technology, either in a through a proof of work or a proof of stake structure. I mean, they're both theoretically viable. No, why not go ahead and take advantage of that technology, and yet combine it with the timeless, monetary store of value properties, or represented by physical gold. I think it's a great idea. I've thought a lot about the topic. I've written somewhat on the topic. So as far, my position on this is more power to them. Now, whether they actually do succeed in the end is going to have a hell of a lot to do with the regulatory environment, because as we know, the regulators, as the crypto market has grown in size, the regulators have gotten more and more active trying to come to terms with it, decide whether and how it should be regulated. And obviously, regulators being regulators, they want to regulate, right? That is their mindset. If it moves, regulate it.
Yeah.
And obviously, crypto has been growing and moving by leaps and bounds. And gold historically has been a market which governments have taken an intense interest in, because it was actually money. So it's not as if they're not going to just ignore this, right? They will have a look and they will decide. So you will need a supportive regulatory environment. Now, that said, you don't necessarily need a supportive regulatory environment everywhere. A handful of jurisdictions that are relatively neutral and global in their orientation might choose to really embrace gold-backed crypto. Maybe Switzerland would do it. Maybe Singapore would do it. Maybe a handful of other countries would do it, and they would champion the idea, and people that wanted to trade it and participate in that market could do so in those jurisdictions. And then perhaps other jurisdictions would follow. So just because one or two or a handful of countries decide to try and regulate it to the point of shutting it down, doesn't mean that it would necessarily fail on, everywhere. So it might certainly succeed in some places.
Right. I think I guess the ambition or the hope for a lot of people who want to see this blend of the ancient and the modern in gold-backed crypto is the idea that finding a truly global, internationally recognized gold-backed crypto, rather than having it linked to one nation, and allowing it, of course, to trade on crypto exchanges globally, where, of course, it can be freely, it becomes its own sort of reserve asset, as it were. I understand the Australian attempt at this, which is still in progress. I believe you can only get it on certain exchanges, so it can't be freely traded like so many of the others that you find on Binance and Bittrex and the like.